on my lane, you all on my lane. You ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you Nino. Plenty bitchin', whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a C-note. Switching, keep it pimping every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
What's up, Bistro family? Welcome back to my channel. Now today we got the most amazing Popeyes inspired strawberry biscuits. So the first thing you do is get you 2 cups of all-purpose flour, followed by a tablespoon of baking powder, followed by 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and a teaspoon of salt. And go ahead and get that mixed up into a bowl. All right, before you do that, I want you to 30 minutes before that, go ahead and get your buttermilk and your butter into the fridge, and that is 1/2 cup of butter, which is a whole stick of butter, followed by a cup of buttermilk. Get that in the freezer because you want those ingredients to be really cold. All right, once you get that butter out the fridge, go ahead and I'm using my grater just to grate it into the flour, and then making sure every piece of that butter is coated by that flour mixture or your biscuit mixture. And then once everything is coated, go ahead and begin to pour your buttermilk into that bowl. And mine was kind of getting frozen to the point, so I'm just scraping all the buttermilk out. And then we're going to begin to work it with the spatula a little bit until everything comes together. Then we're going to pop a little bit of all-purpose flour down on our surface, and we're going to begin to knead this thing together until all that flour comes together and it forms a dough. Since these are Popeyes inspired biscuits, I was gonna mess with you guys and say the first ingredients is like 2 cups of sand, but I haven't had these biscuits yet from Popeyes, but I heard they were really incredible and nice, and they're not tough as the old biscuits or dry. So I'm gonna leave that joke out. But yeah, go ahead and get this thing kneaded. And if you know anything about making biscuits, it can be really messy, but everything on my hand, you'll see as we begin to knead, it's going to come together. And you're going to have to add a little bit of flour into this mixture as well, just to bring everything together, but it will come together. And I'm using Pillsbury all-purpose flour, and we added our own leavening agents, which was the baking powder. All right, you see me adding more flour because it was a tad bit tacky, and I'm just bringing everything together. Now, I did cut my strawberries up, and I did about 7 large strawberries. I cut them up and I put them in the freezer because I want to freeze these things before we added them to the mix, just to make sure they wouldn't be so wet when working with them. So you see me putting the strawberries in the dough, and I'm just gonna fold this dough kind of like we're making a laminated dough. Just making sure the strawberries are in the center. And I put so many strawberries in there, you're gonna see when we begin to cut it that the strawberries are gonna bust out, which is cool because as they cook, they're gonna get a little bit caramelized as well and give you some extra flavor there. But make sure you roll this out to like 1 inch thick, and then go ahead and cut it. Make sure your cutter is dusted in flour because you don't want them to stick. And these biscuits kind of a tad bit sticky anyway, so just make sure you grind your cutter in some flour. Also, just make sure you're going straight down and not twist or anything, because you want your biscuits to rise as well. I got that trick from Divas Can Cook. She got an awesome channel. If you haven't checked hers out, check it out. But yeah, we're getting our biscuits together there, and this recipe made about 4 or 5 biscuits, and I don't really like reworking my biscuit dough, but in this case I did. So remember, the reworked biscuit is always going to be that tough biscuit. So this is the reworked biscuit, and it's going to be the ugly one too when you see the finished product. But we just reworked it because we ain't finna just throw it away. I mean, this is a recipe for the house. So once we get all the biscuits on the in our pan, we're using cast iron. I did use some hazelnut 1/2 and 1/2 just to top it off and to give it some extra oomph, a little extra flavor. I don't have a pastry brush, so I'm just using a spoon, but if you got a brush, just brush it on. If not, just spoon it on, kind of like I'm doing here. But once you get all that spooned on, we're gonna go ahead and bake these things off at 425 degrees, and we bake them for about 25 minutes. They're gonna be really good, and I'm using just the regular bake mode, not convection. We're just baking them regular. All right, in the meantime, we're gonna get us some powdered sugar in a bowl, and this is gonna be our glaze, kind of like Popeyes glaze. And I just did granulated sugar, powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar, a little bit of milk, and then I did add a pinch of salt in there, but that's it. And you can add less milk or more milk if you want to thin it out or make it extra thick. It's pretty much up to you. You're just making the glaze at this point. All right, once we get that glaze made, we're gonna set it aside, and our biscuits should be ready. And I didn't let my biscuits cool before I glazed them because I wanted that glaze to kind of soak into these biscuits. But as soon as we pop the biscuits out, I did add a little rub them a little bit with some salted butter. Now in the recipe, I always use unsalted butter, but when we took it out of the oven, I went ahead and used some salted butter just to give us some extra little salt notes on there. Then we're gonna begin to plate this thing up. So plate it up how you want to plate it. Plating on a white plate, and then I'm gonna go ahead and glaze it with that glaze while they're hot, because like I said, I want that glaze to drip inside, hit them strawberries. I want everything to be really good and lovely. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this recipe was really fantastic, like really good. Man, I wish you could taste them. These biscuits was light, fluffy, airy. We didn't overwork our dough. Look at those biscuits, and it was cooked to perfection. And then look at our glaze. Like I said, our glaze was a little bit runny, but that's how I like mine. I didn't want a thick glaze. If you want a thicker glaze, just add less milk. If you want a thinner glaze than I had, add more milk. But yeah, there you have it, man. The most amazing Popeyes inspired strawberry biscuits. I want to do this recipe because these biscuits just dropped and everybody going crazy about them. And then some Popeyes don't even have them anymore. So make your own at home. Use this recipe. It's a fantastic recipe. And tag me in it when you do. But yeah, the most amazing Popeyes inspired strawberry biscuits. Stop what you're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button and hit the video with a thumbs up. Those items are free. It don't cost you anything to subscribe. It don't cost you anything to hit the video with a thumbs up. And if you like the recipe, leave a comment down below. If you don't like it, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. But yeah, thank you guys for checking this video out. Popeyes inspired strawberry biscuits from the Bistro. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, which is next week. I'm out.